think.
Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for October 15, 2020, to order at 7:02 p.m. On roll call, council members Fasolo.
Here.
Golubek. Here. Ingui.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Wetchler. Here. Council President Balistrary.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Erin. I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. Let's get started with our prayer and flag salute. O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbors. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring your peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require, at the commencement of every meeting, a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and Herald News, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 8th, 2020. Additionally, notice reflecting the time change was published on April 21st, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision, Channel 77 on Monday at 3 p.m., Thursday at 11 a.m. The video will also be available on the Borough's website at www.elmwoodparknj.us. Erin?
Thank you, Mayor. Under the approval of minutes this evening, we have the September 3rd, 2020 work and executive session meeting, September 10th, 2020 work and executive session meeting, September 14th executive session meeting, and September 17th regular and executive session meeting minutes.
May I have a motion on the acceptance of the minutes?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances being introduced on second reading. Resolution R-390-20, introduced ordinance number 20-29 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Amend Ordinance 20-20 Fixing the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, for the year 2020, more specifically, Section 2, adding a designation of Deputy Municipal Clerk." Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, September 17, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. Whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Amend Ordinance 20-20 Fixing the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, for the year 2020, more specifically Section 2, adding a designation of Deputy Municipal Clerk," pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open for a public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come to the mic, give us your name, your address, and we will listen. If there's no one that cares to speak from the public, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Ingui, second by Fasolo. On roll call, council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Recuse.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler. Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution R-391-20, introduced ordinance number 20-30 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 26 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Stormwater Control Ordinance, whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, September 17, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 26 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Stormwater Control Ordinance pass on final reading.
And before I call for a motion to open to the public, I'd like for our town attorney to just explain this, if he will.
Yes, Mayor and Council, and members of the public, this particular ordinance is actually an ordinance which is being readopted in a sense by the existing ordinance that we have in the municipality regarding the storm drain control. Under NJSA 55B-93 by the state statute, each municipality is required to adopt a storm ordinance which complies with the requirements of the state and all the regulations with that aspect. Because the changes were so numerous from the old ordinance that we had, if I had to go line by line and item by item, it probably would have taken me 3 months. In an effort to spend less time, to be more specific, and to actually address every item that the state of New Jersey requires, I adopted, in a sense, what was the sample ordinance that the state of New Jersey puts out. And that covers everything that they need, plus I added a few things, and being also reviewed by the borough engineer, they also made some comments, they approved it, they agreed to the contents of the ordinance as well, and also they made it a little bit more simpler by adding the particular index table to it. So the index table is their work, the ordinance is my work.
So it sounds like instead of go,
Required by statute to have. Every year it has to be reviewed and readopted.
it sounds like the QuickBook version versus the novel.
That's the way you want to do it. Don't spend too much time as the borough's expense.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Wetchler. Second by Pellegrin on roll call. Council members Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries. Our last ordinance for this evening, Resolution R-392-20, introduced ordinance number 20-31 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code, more specifically Chapter 15, to be referred to as the redevelopment agency of the Borough of Elmwood Park. Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, September 17, 2020, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code, more specifically Chapter 15, to be referred to as the redevelopment agency of the Borough of Elmwood Park, pass on final reading.
Motion, please.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor, that was the motion for the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Anyone in public here to speak? If not, I'll close the public portion. Now we can move on to the motion for the ordinance. Okay. We already had a first and a second?
That was for the public hearing, so we need another first and second to
So move.
adopt.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Okay. On roll call, first by Fasolo, second by Council President Ballasteri. On roll call, council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Ballasteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolutions on the agenda for our consent agenda this evening include resolutions R-393-20 approval of payroll, R-394-20 approval of bills list, R-395-20 approved salary adjustment, R-396-20 authorized current estimate number 3 and final and change order number 2, 2019 road program DNL Paving Contractors, Inc., R-397-20 authorized current estimate number 1 to Ella Avenue water main improvements, John Garcia Construction, R-398-20 appoint special legal counsel, Bianca Mano and DeStefano PC, R-399-20 authorized payment, Recreation Department, MRC Game Time, R-400-20 authorized purchase of equipment, Bobcat Department of Public Works, R-401-20 authorized release of road opening performance bonds, R-402-20 approve Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program third quarter compensation, R-403-20 authorized purchase of equipment buyer for Department of Public Works, R-404-20 authorizing the execution of an agreement with North Jersey Wastewater Cooperative Pricing System, R-405-20 authorized signature of the borough attorney and mayor for the declaration of encumbrance, NJDEP Green Acres Birchwood Park improvements, R-406-20 approved 2020/2021 new and/or used car dealership licenses, R-407-20 requesting permission for the dedication by rider for donations for Veterans Memorial Park, R-408-20 supporting high-speed internet accessibility, R-409-20 appointment of firefighter, R-410-20 renew liquor license for the 2020-2021 license term, R-411-20 approve fire department standby compensation, R-412-20 adopting revised personnel policies and procedures manual, R-413-20 approve and accept execution of contract Millennium Strategies, and R-414-20 resolution to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Erin. That's where you really earn your pay.
Absolutely, Mayor. Before we ask for a motion, I just want to confirm, I sent an email to the mayor and council and the borough attorney. I just wanted to confirm that the verbiage was okay for 413-20.
I don't have it here.
413?
413-20 is the consent agenda approval. That's what we're looking for?
There was an update that I sent an email about regarding the finance oversight. So I don't know, Sal, do you mind coming up here? My apologies. Did everyone receive my email explaining the addition of that resolution? If not, do you want me to read it to you?
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All squared away? May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? I have a moment of discussion I'd like to have on R-398-20, appointing special counsel legal counsel. I have a problem with this. This is a situation where we have an ongoing litigation with a former employee, and our insurance company, who does protect us, and we are insured, has suggested that this case should be settled. It would be a cost to the town of just basically the portion that they don't cover, the insurance company doesn't cover, which is approximately 20%. And what we're doing here now is we're disregarding their advice. They have attorneys, and I know the caliber of the attorneys because I've served with them on the executive board, the claims board, and the safety board. Before they throw a red flag up and want to pay off a claim, they go to as far as needed to make sure that they're not settling too soon. I have a problem here with the council wanting to allocate $10,000 on something that seems to me it's a foregone conclusion. I understand that throughout this litigation, some of you have been hurt, and I do understand that, but I think as a governing body, we have to conduct our business and let our emotions go to the side and deal objectively. Easier said than done, but I do feel that this $10,000 is, let's try and picture what is going to happen here. The attorney's going to come back and say, further the case or end it. That's the only two options. And if he says to further the case, we're exposing...
Mayor, this is such an appropriate conversation for a public meeting. I'm shocked.
Mayor, I understand that you're making, your feelings heard. However, it is a litigation, a pending litigation going on, and by going into the kind of details that you're going in now, it's exposing the issue and potentially becoming public, which should not be.
Well, how do we navigate? We're here approving a resolution. How do we navigate, and how do I explain why I'm in distaste of it if I don't use some example of the case?
You made your point that you disagree on the appointment of the particular counsel, and I think that's record sufficient.
Thank you, Counsel. I appreciate the advice.
Strategy and litigation.
Very well. I will stop from any further dialogue on it. Erin, where are we now in reference to...
Yes, Mayor, so we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda, so would you like me to proceed with?
May I comment before we move on?
Yes.
Mayor, with all due respect, there was no need for you to go into as much detail as you just did. You simply could say that you don't agree with taxpayer money being spent this way, and there's a much more viable option that you prefer. That's what I would have said if I was on your side of the fence. Now we have the adverse party, the public, able to consume everything that you just threw out there, which is fine. And I could debate this subject, but in executive, because I'm not going to give the public or the adverse party the benefit of knowing where some people may stand or may not. But I think I, along with others, made very clear and valid points as to why that this is the appropriate and prudent move right now. And I stand by those arguments, and 95% of those arguments were met with silence because they weren't really disagreed to. And I pride myself in not making emotional decisions. We're taking a pause of sorts and doing the due diligence that we're supposed to do anytime we have a legal claim in front of us. And that's what we're doing. We're treating this like any other situation.
Well, I appreciate your thoughts on my speaking, but if we're here approving a resolution, how do you get away from some detail? No names were mentioned. And so as far as going too far with it, maybe I did, but I had to get to that point. Wasn't reaching any of the council members during our private meetings, So I need the public to know that I think this is wasted money, period.
Mayor, I also feel a little bit offended that you would say that some of us made this decision emotionally when some of us weren't even part of the council or know the parties involved with this. So that's what I have to say.
Okay. Anyone else care to speak on this? If not, I ask the council to reconsider and table this. If there's no consideration for that, let's move on.
Okay, on roll call for the consent agenda, items R-393 through R-414-20. On roll call, council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Ingui,
Yes on everything except R 393-20, Aviana Ingrid. Yes on everything else.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler,
Yes.
Council President Balistrary.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Was there a motion and a second?
Yes. Mhm.
Second, I must have missed it.
It was motioned by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin.
And just for the record, that yes vote was said unemotionally.
Mayor, next on the agenda is our departmental reports. We have our planning board meeting minutes for August 5th, 2020 for approval.
May I have a motion to accept and file?
Second.
All in favor on that?
Aye.
Okay, moving along.
Mayor, that concludes my portion of tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Council reports. Let's start off with Mr. Fasolo.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish our students and teachers a healthy and successful school year. I know it's been a long few weeks remotely going through it too, but hang in there and I hope it all goes well going back on Monday. I also want to commend the Board of Education and the council, both the past and present, for their work to make the tennis courts a reality. It was a pleasure being there today to cut the ribbon and see it come to fruition. With that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Fasolo. Mr. Golubek.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one note on the tennis courts. It's a very long time coming, and I think you cannot find an example of another project in the borough's history where you had such cooperation, where half of it was paid by Bergen County through open space, and the other half was split evenly by the borough and the school district with a comprehensive document as to who's allowed to use it when. Great partnership, and I'm very happy it's done. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Golubek. Councilwoman Ingui? You'll be last, I'm sorry. Okay. Moving along. Councilwoman Pellegrin?
Yes. Board of Health update, their next meeting will be Monday, October 19th at 7 p.m. The next rabies clinic will be held on November 18th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Firehouse Number 4 on Mola Boulevard. For any questions you have on the rabies clinic, please call Marlene DeStefano, Board of Health Secretary at 201-796-1457, extension 600. A police update. On October 30th, the Elmwood Park Police Department will be hosting their second Halloween trunk or treat from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Location 300 Market Street, Elmwood Park, in St. Leo's parking lot. Face masks are required. Social distancing will be enforced. For more information, please contact Detective Randy Grillo at 201-796-0700, extension 118. A big thank you to our police department for hosting this night of fun and keeping everyone safe. Another on the police department, let's paint the town pink. Make a $10 donation to the Elmwood Park PBA Local 185. The PBA will then hang a pink ribbon near your home to show your support. All profits will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation for Breast Cancer Awareness. There was a deadline for requests by October 16th. However, I spoke to Detective Grillo, and he will continue to accept requests and donations after the 16th to help this very important cause. Any questions, please give him a call, 201-796-0700, extension 118. Again, a big thank you to Chief Feligno, Detective Randy Grillo, and the entire police department for supporting the fight against breast cancer. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you, Mrs. Pellegrin. Councilwoman Wetchler?
Yes, I received a phone call, well, a couple phone calls from seniors this week about
Doris, could you get in the mic, please?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
I'm taking my mask off too, because I can talk now. Okay, I received a couple phone calls from seniors this week about the meeting on October the 29th about the redevelopment. They're all worried about something. You're going to come in and you're going to take property off their homes on Market Street. I told them that there's not, nobody's going to walk in and say, I'm taking 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet in front of their property. They were upset about that. I explained to them, I told them, please come out to the meeting. You can hear us. I said, this town and this borough and this, our council will never do that to any of our residents. Everybody's important in this town. Everybody has the right to speak and be heard, and everybody will be taken care of. Okay, Erin, I got another phone call from a senior. She doesn't want to vote by mail. She wants to know, could they come to any place to vote, or do they have to do it? I tried to explain to her, but
So at the polling places, the only machine voting, because the machine is ADA compliant, would be for specific individuals with disabilities. If they go in person and they don't qualify, which it's typically deaf, blind, illiterate, they would have to vote via provisional paper ballot, which is counted after all other ballots, and it has to be completely correct.
well, that's what I explained to them.
And not all polling places are open. There's only the 3.
Thanks, Erin.
We will have signs at the other locations, though, directing individuals where to go. If they do want to vote provisionally, if their polling place is not open, they will have to go to another one.
I thank you for telling it on it, so I can tell everybody to watch Channel 77, so this way they could see it, and hear it from you in person, because I try to explain to them, and no, we have to go in person to vote, we have to sign our name and everything,
And also the plan is on the borough's website if they can access the internet, or,
Yeah, some of them
they
can't.
could request a copy if they come here.
Thank you. I also like to thank Detective Randy Grillo for everything he's doing for Pink, the town of Pink. Let me tell you, he's a hardworking police officer, just like all the rest of us. We give our heart and soul to them because they're out there day in and night. Besides their jobs, they're doing everything for all our residents and our students and for Trick or Trunk. I'd like to thank the Board of Education and the council now and before us for the tennis courts. Let me tell you, it was an honor tonight to be there. It's been out so long, and now we have a tennis court that this town can really enjoy, for years and years to come, and it's well worth it. Now, Mayor, if we can only get the library to get a little bit further, we can do it. I'm hoping to hear that soon, too. Progress.
Thank you. Council President Ballesteri?
Okay, first I want to also thank Detective Grillo. He put our pink ribbon up, and I just happened to be there, so I was really happy to be able to take a picture, and it was just wonderful to see how the community is coming together. He's doing a fantastic job, too, getting those, I know you've been a big help because I spoke to him and getting those names and addresses to him, so it's moving along so nicely, and I'm so happy for the community that we really stick together with such important things like this. Also, I want to say that we're resuming our Board of Recreation meetings starting Monday, October 19th at 7:30. So I'm happy that we're back on board again with that. And I attended, of course, the ribbon cutting, and I'm so proud of the Mayor Council, Board of Education, everybody working together with the superintendent, our BA, and getting something accomplished that was long overdue. And I know, Dan, this was a big project that you thought about many years ago and tried to get to move on this, but it was wonderful. It took everyone as a community to get this together. So thank you all, and I'm just so proud of what we saw today. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, the topic tonight seems to be the tennis court, that's for sure. Oh, that's right, you wanted,
I asked to go out of order. That's my fault.
you wanted to come back again, I
do.
understand.
Sorry.
Please, go.
All right, first of all, Mayor, I want to say I'm sorry for the loss of your brother.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Very sorry for that. I would like to wish all the candidates the best of luck in the upcoming election, whether it's for the Board of Education or Town Council position. You guys should all be commended for throwing your hat in the ring. Not too many people do, and you guys should definitely be commended for that. So best of luck to you. On Monday, October 19th, the hallways of our schools will come to life again. I would like to welcome all the students who have joined the hybrid schedule back. Whether your child is coming back or staying home remotely learning, the staff in the school is here to support and guide our students through this transition. Every parent has their reason for either sending their child back or keeping them at home. Let's respect those difficult decisions made by our parents and support each other during this time. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I would personally like to thank the Chief and Detective Randy Garillo for working on the Paint the Town Pink campaign. The residents of Elmwood Park have shown an amazing amount of support. Together with residents, I personally have given Detective Garillo 100 addresses. I asked him today, do you want me to stop? He said no, so I assured him I would not. This campaign will run through the month of October. It's not too late to show your support for the ones we have lost, the survivors, and the fighters of breast cancer. I'd like to wish Councilman Fasolo a happy birthday, and thank you, Mayor. Progress.
It's Mr. Fasolo's birthday? Happy birthday.
Thank you, it's on Monday, thank you.
Ah. We should have some cake or coffee or cupcakes.
Next time.
We'll bake a cake. Congratulations. You don't care to give us your age, do you?
Yeah, I'm 28, it's fine.
Oh, my God.
Don't ask me after 30. though.
Would you say 48?
28?
28.
God bless you. That's a nice age. That's actually, you're at the perfect spot in life.
I remember those days, too.
It doesn't go downhill from that point, but I think a male at 27, 28 is in the prime of their life.
29, too.
Yeah,
29.
till we get to 30.
Females are always in the prime, so
Time that I always thought, even when I was going to retire.
and now it came and went, right? Right, Sal? That's all good,
Thank
good
you.
news.
Thank you, everyone.
The topic seems to be the tennis court. Everybody's well pleased. It goes to show you that the struggle to put the two entities together, Daniel, and then to get the approvals, and then to get the money, and you would think you're home free, but then you go to construction, and you end up with construction problems. So it makes the journey even more arduous, but at the end, I think we will appreciate it even more because of the hard work totally that was put into it. So let the games begin. Library, because I know my lady on my left here is going to ask me about it. No update? No, I know. I know who that lady is. I know a long time. Nothing new, but the last word was that the ball's back into the contractor's court. All the approvals, the designs were accepted, and now it's up to the contractor to get moving on it and do it. Now, we're having a meeting, I believe, Monday night, a library meeting. So hopefully I can have an update at that meeting. Okay? That's it for me. I did a lot of talking this evening, and you're probably sick of hearing me. And at some point, I don't blame you. We're going to move along. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public here to speak? If so, please give us your name, your address, and you actually can speak about anything you wish at this point. We're just getting back to opening up for the public, so you got to forgive us not having that mic there.
He's pretty loud, he's all right.
First of all, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to give my condolences about your brother. Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. May I have your name and address?
Yes, Joseph Beniamini, 44 Philip Ave, Elmwood Park. The reason I'm here is because I'm very concerned for the smell that's on River Drive and River Road. It's been really atrocious. I believe that we discussed it a couple of times at the planning board meeting. This has been going on for over a couple of weeks, probably over a month. It is obnoxious. They cannot breathe sometimes. And I believe that Joe Dombrowski was in contact with you in reference to the smell. I'm very concerned because I do have a little bit of asthma, and every time I go through there, I have to go home and use my inhaler. And then I get a headache. So I don't know
include the TPA or whatever Board of Health that is involved. That air is unsafe. If I have to close my windows in my house because it smells so bad, that's terrible. I'm paying a lot of taxes here. I need your help to get this thing resolved, and resolved once and for all.
Gino, you haven't been the first to complain on that. I'm going to ask our BA, who can elaborate, because he's taken steps to correct that problem.
We had this, listen, we had this problem for a long time. It's not now, in the last couple of weeks, last month, it's been really
Coming up.
strong.
Yeah, I remember,
I mean, you know, discussed it.
yeah, in the past,
That's been there for a long time.
yes.
I don't know what's causing it. I suspect there'll be sulfuric acid thrown into the water, because it smells like sewer.
Yeah.
You know, people in the past have called the police department because it smelled like gas, but it was no gas. But this needs further in-depth observation, in-depth checking, and see what's going on inside. Also, in addition, I believe that Market Street and all the surrounding areas, the paper, could be the paper that they have outside. With the water, after a while, starts smelling, and it gets really terrible. Also, it's an eyesore. Paper is all over Market Street. So, I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because it's a safety hazard and it's a health hazard for people around, especially the ones who live around here.
Mike, would you like to elaborate on that, please?
Sure. So we worked on this for the last few days. Over the weekend, I was working on it from home. Hazmat, DEP were called in. They responded. They did air sampling. They did an inspection. There is no hazard there whatsoever. It's not sewer. We believe we found the problem that it's a reservoir on Markel's property that they recycle their own water. So they have an outdoor tank that's open. The water sometimes pools in there and it starts to smell. They've increased the number of aerators in that reservoir from 1 to 4. They've purchased new deodorizer and they did some other modifications to that system so it doesn't smell. There is absolutely no hazard whatsoever, and that's from the DEP and Hazmat. So we have identified it, and it's not the paper. The paper is not going to be there forever. They're building a new warehouse, which they're getting approvals for through the boards, and that should answer every part of that question.
Michael,
They're gonna put some kind of deodorizer
Yes.
to mask the smell?
Well, that's part of it, right? So,
That's not solving the problem.
well, I just told you they're adding 3 more aerators to move the water. They repurpose their own water, right? So they don't have to keep spending money on water. Sometimes water sits and it smells. It's not hazardous, and that's not me saying that. That's Department of Environmental Protection and Bergen County Hazmat. We pointed them in the right direction. We brought them in. They did their investigation, and that's what they've said to us.
When this thing is gonna go away?
It's gone.
It's gone right now, there's no smell.
No more smell.
As of yesterday was a smell.
I live nearby there too, and I smelled it over the weekend, and I haven't smelled it in 2 days.
so Michael, the procedures that have been put in place to resolve the problem are in place, and...
They're
you
in
should-
place, but there's more to come. It's a work in progress.
Okay, so then it would be too early to see if our remedies are successful. Is that correct?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I haven't smelled it, and we haven't gotten any complaints at the police department since they've started the process. So I think we've identified it. I think we're confident that the Environmental Protection Agency has said there's no safety issues, and it's a Markel issue that they've stepped up, owned, and they're working to remediate.
Can I ask a question? Could we put something possibly in the paper or on our website as to the situation? It came to our attention, what we did, a letter possibly from the DEP and whoever else, so that our residents that don't view this tape have that information also, and it makes them feel more comfortable too. Wherever you think, on our website, maybe in the paper.
I would have to check with our attorney. I don't know if we could speak for Markel. I don't know if we could speak for the DEP and hazmat. I don't.
Maybe you can get something, we can get something from the DEP and hazmat, because I think,
Yeah, generally investigations are not released to the public like that, and people have been fielding calls that aren't even on this council and reporting back to the public. So what I'm saying here is everything is safe and the problem is being handled and it's getting better. Mr. Ingraffia?
If I may, Mayor, under circumstances such as this, anytime that there would be a testing done by EPA or hazmat, and if they were ever to find that there were in fact health conditions, they would definitely act quickly and notify both the municipality as well as the area residents for it. If there is an investigation and they have found nothing, but yet they, based on the information just released by the VA, that in fact they pinpointed where the situation is actually emanating from, and it is not hazardous, that's why they have not issued any warnings. For the borough to start acting to give out any notices ahead of time prior to the EPA or the hazmat, Bergen County hazmat, that would be totally improper because it may cost money.
Thank you. Anything further, Giuliano? Okay, thank you. We'll stay on top of it, Gino, and, all right, because we understand it's not just coming from you, there's been other residents, and our BA jumped right on it and got a thorough explanation of it, so we'll make sure that it ends up to where the smell isn't there, so. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please call the police department. We'll handle that. If it makes you feel any better, I live closer to that plant than you do, and it affects me and my children and my father and my animals. So, you know, I'm just as invested, if not more. And I'm the police chief and the administrator and the emergency management coordinator. We take this stuff very seriously. So please have confidence in what we're doing.
Very well said. Anybody else care to speak from the public? Mr. Freitag.
Okay, the microphone's out there, so I'll speak. Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Fulton Drive, Owen Park. Regarding, it's nice to see that on Linden Avenue, they're finally cleaning up that area on Embankment.
Told you I'd call him for you for the fence.
Well, I called too.
So did I.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, regardless of that, there is a sidewalk beneath it, which, how I first recognized that that fence was knocked down, I had brought up at a prior meeting, is that a gentleman would walk by, he lives down Van Riper Avenue, toward all the companies down there. Anyway, and he was walking around the fence, and I know it was noted that a drunk driver or something had hit the fence and knocked it down. But there are sidewalks underneath there. And likewise, there are sidewalks on River Drive, next to what used to be the Junior Order Hall, now the Boshniak Center, right on Route 8. Who maintains those sidewalks?
River Drive, I mean, we could certainly say the county, but I don't like to do that. If you're identifying that there's some remediation that needs to be done there to re-expose the sidewalk, I'll talk to our DPW director, and thanks for bringing it to our attention, because we want to clean that up. And the same on Linden Avenue and Mulnar Drive. I don't think there's any on Mulnar, but on Linden.
There is one spot, and I know the children are going to start going back to school on Monday. Right by the Junior Order Hall, I call it the Junior Order Hall, on the state, Boshniak Center, by their parking lot on River Drive, right before you go beneath Route 80.
Yep.
There's a branch hanging over the sidewalk. It's been that way for a long time. So-
We'll get it fixed.
Okay.
We'll get it fixed.
Okay, and one other question. I know that there's a meeting on October the 29th
Right,
regarding redevelopment.
right.
Any particular reason why it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
The reason for that is a week that we didn't have posted it, we take it off. Now, what happens is you have 7 people, 8 people, 10 people that are all involved in making this happen, go to their schedules, and they fill in no meeting. So when you do have to call for a special meeting, some of the people, the said people, have already put themselves in another location and another time So now what you have to do is you got to take a happy medium time that works for everybody to get them here on that day so that we can fulfill the requirement. That's basically what happens, Jeff.
Not to overuse a term, but optics.
Mhm.
You recall the ambulance situation that happened right around Thanksgiving, I think, in fact, I think Thanksgiving Eve, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe earlier, I don't know when it was. But this appears to be something that's a sensitive issue that I don't know why people may have questions. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of things on Facebook I don't see right here this evening. But just so you can say, well, we had the meeting at a time when people could attend. Most people, 4 o'clock, I could come. A lot of people can't. But that's for the mayor and council to decide about that. Regarding the, last night, after, just a little report regarding the planning board, we passed an item, C of O for bubble tea on Route 4, Broadway. Used to be where Metro PCS is. It's an Oriental gentleman, if I could use that term. I hope I'm not stepping on anything here. But he's going to sell tea.
Sal, could you use that term?
Well, you should change it to Asian.
Okay.
Asian gentleman. Well, listen, okay, anyway, he's opening up this store, and there were some questions raised by the building official. We went through that, and it was approved. And the other things were we approved 3 different items, at least the resolutions, regarding onset or construction to 35 River Drive. One large piece of property was divided into 3. One house is going to remain here, and they're going to build 2 other houses. It goes all the way through from River Drive to Greenwood Avenue. That was approved at our meeting, but the resolution went through last night, so construction, I would assume, might begin. And the other 2 were concerning Markel. Mr. Benny was part of those, and we had some discussions, and the paper issue was brought up. And we had already approved the resolution that would approve the item, but then the resolution is written, and we approve the resolution as written.
Right.
But those will move forward, and you being a member also, they have 2 years to build their new building, which is where the paper is going to be stored, and then they're going to have it stored in their trailers, and there's certain parking and fire regulations that are going to be followed. Well, those 2 items, so we have the 3 lots now created out of the 1 large lot, and we have the 2 items with Markel. One was the site plan approval for the building, and the rest of it was the trailers, parking, all approved, and then again, bubble tea. So that was last night. So, and the redevelopment, that was moved forward, that had been discussed. We had topology here last week. You saw the presentation. And that was approved to move forward. And again, I guess is what you're voting on the 29th.
Right.
So.
Jeff, you said there's a letter coming to us?
The letter was generated, and I didn't speak with the attorney today. We had a substitute attorney last night, but he did have the letter. So all that has to be done is signed, not by me, but by the attorney, that it was discussed and was decided to move forward and sent to the town council. And I believe that's what's required by the law. Okay? Thank you.
Jeff, I want to thank you as the chairman for bringing a report to us. There's council members here that I'm sure appreciate the fact, coming right from the chairman, how the events of the evening went. So that is appreciated, and thank you very much for that, and I hope you consistently can do that. Am I right, council? It's a plus. The knowledge is a plus. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else care to speak? If not, I will close the public portion. Anybody on the council care to say any last words here? No? Then I think I will call for a motion to adjourn, if there's no further business.
Second.
Am I correct on that, Aaron?
That's correct, and I heard a motion by Wetchler, second by Fasolo.
And do we need a roll call on that?
Just all in favor?
All in favor? Sounds good to me.
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.